Here we are, Bridesburg. Don't even recognize my own neighborhood. I was driving down. I'm like, whoa, am I in Fishtown? What's going on, cuz? Go Birds. And these houses, this used to be a lot, and behind this lot there's a roofing company in this garage. There also used to be a mechanic here, and it was just a big empty lot, and it always had a big ass dog that I always avoided this street because if I'm walking Rick the puppy, which is usually the only time I come down here, or if I'm scooting. But anyway, they're gentrifying Bridesburg. There's not many lots in Bridesburg. Like if you go to the neighborhood of Fishtown, real estate agents call it East Kensington. Well, because that's actually what it's really called. And if growing up in Fishtown, there were nothing but vacant lots. You would just be able to walk through the middle of blocks where houses were. And there was a lot of vacant lots. And pretty much that's why Fishtown was gentrified. The ability to build everywhere. And everywhere you go with Fishtown, you see these properties look just like this. 4545 Belgrade. What's it going for? Let me know in the comment. Now I'm on Cashmere Street. I never noticed that the street lights on Cashmere Street, I don't think there's anything like this. Maybe in Northeast Philly you might see something. I don't know many street lights like that. Maybe it's a block thing. I don't know. Different. The pole itself is made of... What are we talking about? Is this the video? Yoma! And he's run out of topics. He's now talking about streetlights. But it's different. Okay, we're going for a scooter. Let's get on my scooter. It's called the High Boy S2 Pro. I call it the gut punch because it has shocks. And when you're driving and you hit a bump, this hook always punches you right in the stomach. When I was driving at the Eagles game yesterday, I noticed that 2 screws are missing on this side. And we're going to go to Lowe's and we're going to buy screws. I rode the scooter all day yesterday at the Eagles tailgate. And I think we can make it to Lowe's. It's only about a mile from here. And we're just going to go slow, take our time, go through Bridesburg. You might be saying to yourself, yo, Cap, why ain't you taking the car? Well, that's in the shop. Yo, Cap, why ain't you riding the bike? Well, that's broken down right now. I got to put that in the shop because I was waiting for the car to go in the shop. But now the car's in the shop. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go for a scoot. And then I realized my scooter's broken. And I have many means of transportation, and they're all busted. Yeah, this is the craziest smokestack in the city. I like looking at smokestacks and street poles. Here you go. This is the Nicetown smokestack. It says Nicetown. Now, I'm actually in the neighborhood of Bridesburg, and growing up, I always thought Bridesburg was called Nicetown. If you don't know, there's a neighborhood called Nicetown. It's over there. I think it's near Kensington. Turn around. There are like over 180 neighborhoods in Philadelphia. I have no idea about, I would say 80 of them. I don't know them. Maybe even 100 of them. But, so like I just call like South Philadelphia, that's the whole neighborhood. But there's different neighborhoods of South Philadelphia. There's Pennsport, there's... I call it the Stadium District, the Navy Yard. You got all different types of neighborhoods. I don't think the Navy Yard... Is the Navy Yard a neighborhood or just a location? Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy. I was starting to feel down today because of the car being down and the bike being down and the scooter being down. And I caught myself getting depressed. And then I said, well, wait a minute. The car repair is under a warranty, so shut up, stop, smile, right? That's nothing to be upset about, and you're getting it fixed. So that's good, right? It's all about mental mindset, I'm finding. And then the scooter, you know, I realized that happened yesterday. I'm just gonna, you know what? We're just gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it, and it's not gonna be a problem. Now, will we make it to Lowe's? That's the fun thing, because it does. I noticed about 2 weeks ago, the rides, the back tail started sliding out. So about 2 weeks ago, I was like, and then I was like, the tires are probably getting worn. I'm probably going to need to buy new tires for the scooter. And that was it. That was all the whole. I didn't look at it. I didn't tighten anything. Now the bike, I have to tighten up with the IKEA tool, the Allen wrench. No, not the Allen wrench. Yeah, the Allen wrench. There you go. Aramingo Avenue in the bike lane. Now I can go down here. There are train tracks that you can go down, and it actually gets you over the Frankfurt Creek, right down this way. I'm wearing flip-flops still. It's 60 degrees, cuz. Hello, friend. It's 60 degrees. It's like, it's fall. Like it's officially fall. That stinks. It was a fun summer, right? We had a good time. Phillies had a good season. Went down the shore. That was a really good summer. I had a nice summer. Thank you so much for everybody who has hit subscribe. If you haven't hit subscribe, please hit subscribe. Now listen to this. Maybe you think you've hit subscribe. Do me a favor, double check. Because sometimes you just unsubscribe sometimes. Not you. Sometimes YouTube just like, I don't know. So just check. It happens. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, ring the bell. Shame. Well, I'm going the wrong way in the bike lane. And the reason why I'm going this way is because there's no pavement starting on the other side. Royal Farms gas, $3.39 a gallon. That seems about the average. There it is, the Royal Farms. They have, they make chicken. They have fried chicken, and they have potato wedges. I like potato wedges. KFC used to have, are we talking about KFC? Yeah, we are. KFC used to have the best potato wedges. And then they stopped making them. I don't go to KFC too often, but last time I went there, a guy was like, yeah, we haven't made them in like 6 years. I was like, okay. All right, we're now in the bicycle trail. It's called the E-Route. You can look it up on the map. It's the E-Route, and it takes you right down beautiful, scenic Aramingo Avenue. And they keep this area here. It's all overgrown on purpose. I don't know why, but it is. I think it's for bird migration. It's supposed to help with. Back in the day, there used to be a body of water right around here somewhere, and it would go down Aramingo Avenue. And that body of water was called Gunner's Run. And the only reason why I know this is there used to be a restaurant called Gunner's Run in Fishtown or Northern Liberties. I told you, I'm not good with neighborhoods. And Gunner's Run, they had the history about Aramingo Avenue and how there was like a body of water, I guess kind of like a creek. If anybody knows anything about Gunner's Run, let me know in the comments. And a lot of Port Richmond is built on top of water, and a lot of Port Richmond is collapsing. Uh-oh. So is Bridesburg. I think the whole city's collapsing, but there's I-95, or the exit to I-95. This is probably the longest ramp in the history of the interstate of America. It takes about, I think it takes about 4 hours to get off this ramp. It's pretty far. It's a great distance. Here we are. Oh, it's chilly. I should have worn a hoodie. I can get a Philly Captain hoodie at my Spread Shop shirt. Sure. Oh, I should know the name of the goddamn company. There's a link. Check out my merchandise. You can get your, it's not just hoodies and t-shirts. It's other crap too. Water bottles, coffee cups, tote bags. You live in Philadelphia, you need a tote bag. We don't have plastic bags in Philadelphia, and that's how we stay litter free. Sort of. We try. Well, no, yeah, so if I would stay on those railroad tracks that I showed you earlier, I would wind up right there. And if you look over there, that's I-95, and it's always traffic. Always traffic on I-95 anymore. Always. It doesn't matter. I went out Sunday, 2 o'clock, traffic. Monday, 4:30, it's over, cuz just don't make plans. You're not making it home for it's not that bad, but it gets the merging. There's a lot of merging that happens in like 2 spots, and it just screws up traffic. Man, I was having a good time yesterday at the Philadelphia Eagles tailgate. If you haven't checked out that video, check it out. Man, the Eagles tailgates are just so much fun, and the people are so entertaining and friendly, and well, not if you're wearing the other team's uniform, but it's just such a great environment. And I just love showing off that tailgate. It just shows you how crazy the Philly sports fans are, but we're knowledgeable, so it's okay that we're assholes, just so you know. We're going to pause this real quick. Now, on Aramingo Avenue, we have Lowe's, and then if you go down the street, about a block that way, there's a Home Depot. I always go to Lowe's. And it's because of NASCAR. I like Chad Knaus. I wasn't a Jimmy Johnson fan. I was a fan of his pit crew boss, Chad Knaus, who he had a TV show called This Week in NASCAR, and I loved it. And because of him, I shop at Lowe's. So just so you know, advertising, for some reasons, it does work. I bought a Toyota car because Kyle Busch was my driver. Insanity. All right, let's go to Lowe's. Let's see if they'll let me buy some screws. All right, here it is, the end of September, and the Christmas crap. It's all up. Looks like Rudolph is the craze this year. They got the Christmas trees. Oh, look at this. And it has a conveyor belt of gifts. We got this guy, he's just... How exciting. It's Christmas time. That could be $220 for $8. $400. This could be yours. I got a lot of the Christmas trees up. They're still putting up the display. Oh, yes. The Grinch. Merry Christmas. Oh, a copy. Right. Music. You got even more Christmas crap here. Kind of nice. You got the Candy Cane Village. That's $700. I'm not sure. Probably light. Oh, it has lights built into it. Oh, that's the new thing. They have the lights built into the decorations. Oh, don't forget. Jesus is the reason for the season. And they got some more nutcrackers and polar bears. And then, oh, you know what? My friend Bob will be happy. There are no penguins. And there's Jack Skeleton. I don't think Rudolph's that kind of... Oh, that bungle can bounce. Is that what he's called? The bungle? Isn't that what we call other parts of our... 2 bolts in my thing. I'm going to actually order the proper screws from the bike company, but this will be good enough to get home. My scooter, I'm riding it now. It hasn't felt like this, I don't think, since I've owned it. There's a lot of, I must have snapped the bolts. All right. We got the Chick-fil-A here. So I got a new obsession right now. And my grandson is, the helicopter's flying right over there. What's that? Ooh. My grandson is 3. So now would be a perfect time to learn some magic tricks so I could wow that kid before he, doesn't believe in magic. I heard someone saying, and I was just in the Walmart, and they don't have many shopping carts. And the guy working at the store said, "Oh, I'm sorry, hon." They said, "Oh, yeah, someone stole all of our shopping carts." And I was in Lowe's getting the screws for the scooter, and they didn't have shopping carts. So that's a problem. I saw that there was a big news story in New Jersey of a guy who was just pulling up a van and just loading shopping carts in his van, and then he would sell them for $100. Maybe he's coming down to these parts. Here we go. Down here, Butler Street, Saviva. This street was probably the worst paved street in the city of Philadelphia about a year ago. No longer the situation. Matter of fact, there's a hot dog truck here these days. I love the graffiti on these cars. They're just, oh, this is new. This is like an updated version. But I always like, this one reminds me of the video game Jet Set Radio. I like being reminded of that game because it was a good game. It was very addicting. See, I'm trying to learn some card tricks for my grandson. That's my new addiction. There's another cool mural right up here on the railroad tracks. This part of the pavement, it's still this is probably where I broke the wheels off my scooter. Back in the day, there was a lot of slaughterhouses in this area. Slaughterhouses, industry, factories, all types of things. Now, it's mostly retail space, Aramingo Avenue, the old Gunner's Run. This was abandoned railroad track not that long ago. There's usually a homeless community somewhere around here on these tracks. They recently cleaned this up, and this block used to be really bad for dumping. I don't see any dumping cameras. I mean, it's not clean by any means, but oh, they do have cameras. They do have cameras here, but it's not city cameras. Right here is the old factory, Sterling Industries or something like that. And the guy who owned this factory, he built this clock. And at one time, this was pretty high when this was built. And the clock was built so all his employees who lived in this neighborhood, they knew what time it was. And he hated people being late. Like, that was his quirk. He just hated people who were late. To the point, he writes like, first shift, second shift, third shift, show up on time. I built you this big goddamn clock. That's what that guy said. Oh, that's right. I got to do an update on McVeigh Playground, cuz breaking Philadelphia news. Well, it's not breaking news. I've been talking about it for 2 months. They started doing some demolition, some axe and smash, and occasionally crush. Some demolition to McVeigh Playground. So we'll go zip by there. This is Kensington Ave. A lot of stores used to line the... Actually, stores still do line the Ave. But developers have recently been coming into the area, fixing up properties that look like this now. But if you go down the Ave, you go closer towards like Somerset Street, Allegheny Ave, they've really been fixing up that area. Look at this hole. Look at this. Boom. We're all dead. We're all dead. All right. Right now, we're at the Tioga L stop. The L is directly above me. Today, if you were to ride SEPTA, it would cost you $2.90. And a few weeks ago, it used to cost you $2.50. Oh, I got to do another update. I got to see if they reopened the supermarket at Harrowgate Plaza. This is the neighborhood of Kensington. This is the neighborhood I was born in. Went to school in this neighborhood up till the 8th grade. I still come to this area. Me and my family go ice skating in that ice skating rink occasionally. And the Scanlon pool, well, all the pools, not just Scanlon, they're closed, hon. It's September. And They drain the pools in the middle of, like near the end of August. The kids go back to school in August in Philadelphia. That's sort of new. Back in my day, you wouldn't go back to Labor Day. But the kids have already done a month of school. Right, here we are at Harrowgate Plaza. So I guess technically I wasn't even in the neighborhood of Kensington when I said I was in Kensington. I was in Harrowgate. Kensington and Harrowgate are the same place to me. I know if you live in Harrowgate, you're probably spitting at your TV. But this is the Harrowgate Shopping Plaza. Last time I was here, I was showing you all the smokestacks. That was about a month ago. And the very next day, the day after my video came up, the super food town for saving. It's a Settings and a supermarket. Well, it closed because there was a fire, a real bad fire. And the supermarket burned down in the middle of the night. So now, the neighborhood of Kensington, is there, I guess you could go to Aramingo Avenue to go food shopping. You got the supermarkets in the Unedited, Feltonville area. I guess you can go some places. But this is a pretty big, that was a pretty big supermarket for this area. And there aren't many. As a matter of fact, Rite Aid, all the Rite Aids closed. And for some spots in Philly, the Rite Aids were like the corner grocery store. Right here, this is the spot of the old photo mat. No longer exists, the photo mat. What you would do is you would take a picture and then you would give somebody your pictures and they would develop them. Over there, that's the old Ramblers, the indoor soccer. That's where you play indoor soccer, basketball for the Kensington Ramblers. It's now a PAL. And over here is the old Ramblers Field. And I think Ramblers Field and that old shopping, that shopping mall I was just at, they were both a graveyard. And they back in the 1900s, they just didn't give a shit about anybody being buried. They just said, listen, we're trying to develop a city. Go down here. We're going to go down Roar Street. You go down a few blocks, it's where my mom lived on Roar Street. There you go, you got the porches. You got the enclosed porches. That's something they've done in the last like 30 years. They started building these cages around the fences, and that just keeps people off your porch. All right, and now we're going to say goodbye to the McVeigh wreck. Oh, it's gone. Oh, it's gone. This was a rec center in the Kensington area for a while. It was open up until about 2 years ago. And this is it. This is McVeigh Rec. The front door to the rec center was right. Oh my God, it's all gone, hon. And there was a wall inside this rec center, I think like on the basement floor. And all the kids who came here like in the 80s and the 90s, they had their handprints on the basement wall of the McVeigh Rec, and they tore it down. The playground was back there. There was a rec center, and that's where the pool was. And the pool's going. They had to close the pool about 2 or 3 years ago. One of the lifeguards had like their life threatened, so they had to close this pool down. So everybody had to go to Scandal. Oh, I'm glad I came by the few times I did. There was a big, beautiful mural for the SPCA on the side wall. Yeah, it's all gone. And I think what the plans are is, I think the pool is staying there, and the basketball courts are going to be moving here, and there's going to be a rec center over there. Let's go say hi to Grandmom's. Look at, I haven't seen this before in Kensington. I've seen pools on the front pavement, not a whole trampoline. When we're down on Willard Street, we always stop by and say hi to Grandmom's house, or can we? Oh no, there it is. The parking authority. Oh boy. Oh, somebody. Oh, look, people are out at the window washer's house. I don't know. What they do is the parking authority, they go down streets and they type in everybody's license plate, and then they boot your car if you owe money on tickets. Oh, there was a lot of people out in Grandmom's block watching the PPA. There you go. This is, if I was Paul Revere, I'd be like, the parking authority's coming, the parking authority's coming. And then people would come and move their car so they don't get tickets. I think you have to owe them, there's like either a limit in money or it's like 3 tickets. You have to pay them if you have more than 3 tickets. There's a live stream of this street. If you go to YouTube, you just look up Kensington live stream, and you can watch. I think most of the time the camera's pointed on this block, and you can see what's happening here. It's live streamed 24 hours a day. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. It's actually this intersection at Potter and Allegheny. There's always people standing here. And here is one of the roaming hospitals, one of the Kensington Roman hospitals. And these hospitals were just made illegal by the city council person in this neighborhood and the mayor. The mayor signed the law in. Yeah, huh? And yeah, so there's this new law that you can't have roaming hospitals patrolling this area. Yeah, they just powered wash down here. It's kind of clean. It smells. It doesn't smell too pissy. This is a cop station. Cops are supposed to sit in here and, like, I don't know. I never see. They used to sit in here. It was about 5-6 years ago. Now you don't see anybody in there. Now it's usually just a spot where people pass out or they piss on, honestly. There it is, the Allegheny L station. If you ever watched that live stream, the camera for the live stream's right up there. All right, here we are, McPherson Square. Looks like the library's closed. All boarded up, fenced in. Looks like they're doing some construction. A lot of the libraries and playgrounds around the area are getting renovations. Yeah, so if you ever see any like videos in the Kensington area, this is McPherson Square. They call it Needle Park, and they don't call it Needle Park because of the stuff that happens in here. They call it Needle Park because if you go down to the corner there, it comes to the end at the point of a needle, I guess, or a needle's point. Listen, you get it. I come down here on Sundays sometimes and you'll see churches preaching to people. That's something common down here. Yeah, see the point right there at the end? That's why it's called Needle Park. Another one of those rolling hospitals that go up and down Kensington Ave, and what they do is they clean up people with infections in their wounds. There's a lot of amputees you'll see on this street, and the drugs that they're doing is eating away at their flesh. And the people down here aren't really taking good care of themselves. So, you know, if their arm is like rotting away, they're not going to take care of it. You got police going up and down here. This is the lot where I used to feed the chickens. Who's been here since the chicken era? There are no more chickens in this lot. Matter of fact, there's no more property in this lot. It used to be Bill's Appliances right here. That was torn down because there was a fire inside it. People were homeless, were living inside there, and they had like a hobo style fire with like wood. They were burning garbage, and the whole building burnt down. Here's another one of those roaming hospitals. Now there are some. The reason why they're trying to get the hospitals off Kensington Ave is they want people to go to a parking lot that's going to be on Lehigh Avenue. Now, the mayor said she's not going to enforce the mobile hospital law for right now, but in the next, few months, there's going to be a time where all the people who are, missing limbs or have infections, they're going to have to walk about 4 blocks on that way to Lehigh Avenue. So that's something we'll keep an eye on. We'll see how that happens. What's happening in Philadelphia with the the way they treat this drug epidemic, it's not happening anywhere else. I think California might have something kind of like this, like a Skid Row situation, but just the amount of people all in one area. Like, this is a major city dealing with this crisis. So I like to document what happens. Hashtag piss. Wow. This was like a brand new mural. You see like the top part of the painting, you see the mural. This whole thing was a beautiful mural. Not like 3 years ago. 2022 is when they put this mural in. It was graffitied and tag over so much that the city, once there's a lot of graffiti, they just put this beige color over the wall to get rid of the graffiti. Yeah, back on these side streets here, I always wonder what the hell was in this property. You usually have people sitting on the steps doing their thing, you know? It's really not that bad. You do have a lot of dumping that happens right here. And the crazy thing is, usually there's a homeless community on this block. If you see, oh, by the way, Train Dork, Sue takes care of you. That property right there is a brand new property. It goes for about $300,000. And that you're dealing with, people high on drugs, defecating, all types of things. Your car gets broken into a lot. There's the Danny Trejo mural. And that's a Conrail train. This is the Conrail train tracks. I'm not going to stay for that because sometimes those trains can be very, very long and I have a life to live. I'm very excited. And you might be excited if you like my camping videos, because we're going to go camping today. We're going to go camping in the backyard. We're going to pop up a tent. We're going to barbecue. And I think that's it. Usually I get fed up and I just go home. And if I do the camping video from my home, I figured, it'd be fun. I don't think I've ever been on this street before. Look at this. That's what I picture the guy who lives in a van down by the river. I picture it looking like that. Not exactly a van, but a very nice, well, not a very nice, a very shitty RV. This is back here in the Port Richmond, Kensington, Harrowgate area. You got these back streets right near the railroad tracks. And they just pave over some of it. And then some, you got these really old brick, Belgian block brick streets. And these are all in the Port Richmond. Back there's a whole like mile-long street called Trenton Ave. And a lot of people back, when I was growing up in Port Richmond, if your wife was pregnant, what you would do is you would go for a ride down Trenton Ave. I did that with my ex-wife when, for our second kid. We went down Trenton Ave. She still had to get induced, so. Now, I would say we were in the Port Richmond area, and this area is definitely getting gentrified. Used to be a lot of junkyards around here, cuz more junkyards than you could shake a stick at. And then there was a big junkyard fire about a decade ago. It was a crazy fire. And the city started cracking down on the junkyards. So the junkyards, what they did is they said, you know what? We're not going to deal with this regulation. We'll just sell our property. And now people live, hello friend. Now people live on the land where the junkyards used to exist. So I was born in the neighborhood Kensington. I lived on that street, Willard Street, for a while. I lived on Rohrer Street for a bit. Oh, we got an artist. I grew up in this area, and this little section of Port Richmond, the other side of Aramingo, my friends always called it Jewtown. And the reason why they called it Jewtown was if you look up there, you see the years, 56, 64, 1904. You see that Hebrew writing? Well, this was a former synagogue. And back in the day, in like the 1920s, I think, around that time, this area, for some reason, was a predominantly Jewish area in Port Richmond, which is a predominantly Polish area. And they called this area Jewtown. And you can look it up. That's what there's newspaper articles and when I was growing up, the majority of Jewtown was full of black people. So when I was a kid, I just assumed all black people were Jewish because they lived in Jewtown. And then I went to high school, and I was talking to my friend Emmanuel, who was a black guy, who was a Jehovah's Witness. And I said, wow, that's crazy. I thought all you black people were Jewish. I didn't know you guys could be Jehovah's Witnesses. And he said, Jewish? What the hell are you talking about? So, I don't know what that says. I think that's a nice story. It means I don't judge anybody. Or I judge, anybody can be anything. That's all. Why not? This is Cedar Street. You go down here, this is McPherson Playground. Now, when I grew up at Port Richmond, this was the playground I spent the majority of my time in as a kid. And this playground, just like the library in Kensington and the playground in McVeigh, it just got a brand new makeover. Oh, look at this. They got the Indigo bikes in Port Richmond. Wow. These bikes you can rent. And you could drive it to Center City and then just park the bike in Center City. And then you could drive your bike here. And this is the furthest northeast I've seen the Indigo bikes, here in Port Richmond. That's great. This is it, the McPherson Playground. Oh, the gate's open, the new playground. There's the new basketball court. The pool is still a little broken, but the playground, man, look at this. Oh, they got a workout for you to do. 5 press up, 5 lunges, step hop. Oh, wow. And then they got a gym. This isn't the gym. This is a play area for children. I thought they had pull-ups. That's not a pull-up bar. There are playgrounds in the city that actually have gyms designed for adults, so you could do pull-ups and all types of exercises. What the hell is this thing? How excited. Oh man, this cushion. No broken legs. Is this spin? Oh, it spins? Oh, this is fantastic. You got a thing, you climb, and it spins. And then this is this is a handicap accessible playground. A kid in a wheelchair can actually go in this thing. This is pretty nice. McPherson Playground. Back when I was a kid, right here in this space was just like a swing set. But the swing set didn't have any swings, so kids would just climb on the bar and they would fall off that bar and they would break their arm because the padding they had in this playground was awful. Man, this is American Ninja Warrior style activities. Oh, I gotta take Kevin here. Yeah. It's holding my fat ass up. That's good. Oh, this is for 2-year-olds. All right, I'm a little too old for this. And in this area here, they have a indoor basketball court. And they have an outdoor basketball court. And the field, I think the field, like all the playgrounds in this area, it was contaminated with lead. So now they have to get rid of some dirt, put in some new dirt so the kids can play in the dirt and actually eat it and not die. Got poison bottle caps right here. I don't know if the kids know how to play poison bottle caps. These houses here, they're called the jitneys growing up. That's what we called them. It was like low-income housing. Apparently that's what it was. I don't know if it is anymore. These houses were built in the early 1900s. And if you look, there is a sign right around here. The Octavia Hill Associates. And Octavia Hill was a woman who, fought for women who I think were getting abused, or maybe they were widowed and they were trying to figure out a way to get women who couldn't have a job but they had kids' houses, so they built these houses. Port Richmond, hon. Going past Richmond School. Went to grade school here for 1 year. I think 4th grade I went here. This was, all that's new. This is the old grade school. The neighborhood school is got so many people were going to the school they had to expand it. All right, we're going down Belgrade Street. Right here, the old Richmond school. How exciting. This is Belgrade in the end, and this is the block I lived in as a teenager. My early teens, my late teens, I lived in the far northeast. I lived right here at this house. And we're going down Livingston Street. Right here was the spot. There was a church. It was like an abandoned church, and me and my friends would always play in there. And we called it the Haunted Church. And now people live right here in the space of the haunted church. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't live there. It's haunted. And we're going down Clearfield Street. Now, if I would go another mile or so, I would be back on Kensington Avenue. There's a little bit of a difference between Kensington and Port Richmond. You do have, you know, there's a drug problem in every neighborhood. But yeah, you usually, you know, you'll have people leaning over and doing drugs. You'll see people on Aramingo Avenue passed out. So I'm looking for these special cards that I can do magic tricks for my my grandson, and I've been watching YouTubers play with decks of cards, and I found out that there is an elite brand of playing cards called 11 Theory. And like, you know, I was watching these magicians shuffle cards and play with decks of cards, and I was like, wow, these decks must be like uber expensive. They must be like $30-$40 for it. And they're like $10. So I ordered some cards. It's going to take a while for me to get them shipped to me, but I did see that they sell those cards at the CVS, and we're going to see if we can get the cards. See, yeah, you got people right here at the old Pathmark. People just like lean, like they hang out down here all day. Here's one of the remaining junkyards in the Port Richmond area. Every so often, there's a fire. There's like a chemical that's inside like every stove. And if that chemical inside the stove touches air, it combusts. So there's junkyard fires or something that happens. Man, look at all those rotors. Oh, you can see the traffic. The traffic is at a crawl right now. It's on 2 o'clock in the afternoon as we drive past the location of the old Jimmy's Used Auto Parts. This is an area going into the Port Richmond Bridesburg area. A lot of illegal dumping. There's some construction happening right here. I think this is actually for the water department. I always thought this was for the I-95 project, but they're building something for the water department right here. There you go. And now we're crossing the other side of the tracks, and we're in Bridesburg. We're back home. Boy, what a scoop. I didn't realize how broken my scooter was until I fixed it, and then I'm like, Jesus God, it's been broken for at least 6 months. And I guess the moral of the story is, if you ride an e-scooter, maybe inspect it every so often. Well, listen, if you like this video, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, and while you're at it, hit subscribe. Don't forget to check out my merch. It's fire. And if you want to help me out, there's a link below in every video to my Patreon. You get early previews. You'll probably get the Camping with Captain before the other people, because we have a baseball video tomorrow night. So Camping with Captain, if you're a Patreon, if I camp. I might not camp, just tell you the truth. I talk about camping almost every day of my life, and I never do it. So, well, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll sail with you later. I hope you enjoyed that, Bobby B. Toodles!